The Mexican Revolution was spurred on by the discontent of the lower classes. The hacienda system worked farmers like slaves. They earned little to no wages and had poor living and working conditions. Only 5% of the population held the country's wealth, which led to inflation, and the dictatorship under Porfirio Diaz grew increasingly corrupt.
After ruling for president for 26 years, I, President Porfirio Diaz, call the 1910 presidential elections to order. Of course, I will be the only candidate for president, and no fool will ever run against me. It is time I, Francisco Madero, became ruler and ended this dictator's rule. With the followers I've accumulated over the years, President Diaz won't be able to stop me. I do not like the amount of support this Madero is getting. I want him imprisoned for that, and I will have the longest term. I am Mexico's sole leader, and no one else can top me. This unrighteousness must end now. It is time we, the people of Mexico, revolt against Porfirio Diaz. He openly opposes democracy because he wants the power just to himself. Diaz fails to help the poor. He raises our taxes to outrageous prices and hardly gives money to make ends meet. Rich chicos, which are less than 5% of Mexico's population, own the land they give us, and the poor hombres have no land to spare. We are poor and in poverty. We, the lower class, have all been fighting for freedom, so now it is time. It's time for a revolution.
Diaz is a nuisance to us, sir. How do we get rid of him?
Simple. I become president.
After all the resistance Diaz received, he was forced to hold an election for presidency. Despite Diaz's effort to campaign, he did not win presidency. Madero was voted into office, and Mexicans even called him the apostle of democracy. However, Madero was unable to make any immediate changes to Mexico due to the corruption and inexperience of its government.
Huerto, my trusted general, you must end this revolution in Mexico City. This is the 4th rebellion. I'm sorry, sir, but you're coming with me. What? Yeah, that's right. Reyes and Diaz don't like your rule, and guess what? We're putting you out on the streets. Take him to jail.
Madero attempted to escape prison several times, but his efforts proved to be unsuccessful. With Madero dead, Huerta was able to seize office. He was a very hated man. Meanwhile, armies led by Zapata in the south and Carranza, Villa, and Obregón in the north grew.
We must join forces in order to defeat that dog Huerta.
See, we have worked too hard now to give up.
We must take down that damn dog Huerta.
Carranza and Villa worked together to defeat Huerta. After multiple attacks to Huerta's army, he realized he was beaten and tried to flee the country. However, he was caught and killed just outside of Mexico City. Once Huerta was out of the picture, Carranza took office for himself, which angered Villa.
I control all of Mexico now. My rival, Pancho Villa, doesn't even compare to me.
We may think he rules all of Mexico, but if he did, he could have stopped me from executing all those U.S. citizens.
Oh, no! But how do you know you're safe, sir?
Carranza may be arrogant, but he's no idiot. If he were to arrest me, that would cause an uproar among many citizens. I am safe. Do not worry.
But even if you're safe, we are not strong enough to defeat Carranza. How do you expect to win?
That is where I step in. Together, we cannot be defeated.
Once Villa and Zapata started working together, they tried to solve some of Mexico's biggest problems.
I, Emiliano Zapata, will stop at no cost to end the hacienda system. No longer will peasants be subject to such unjust labor.
Zapata and Villa worked together along with Obregón's army to overthrow Carranza. As a ploy, Carranza requested a meeting with Zapata, but Carranza's general murdered him. Zapata's supporters, outraged at his death, drove Carranza out of office. The popular and well-loved Obregón took his place.
My life is great. Since the overthrow of Carranza, I've been pardoned of all crimes committed before then, and even given a ranch. My life is...
After Villa's death, bloody battles continued. The Constitution of 1917 was the attempt to stop fights, but it failed. Eventually, Obregon was able to calm down the revolutionaries and cease battles during his term as president. This is why Obregon is famous for being a main reason for the end of the revolution.